I make $500,000 per month on Airbnb without owning a single property. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I do it so that you can too. The business model is perfect for beginners. You don't need any upfront capital, you don't need any experience. The best part is you can literally do it 100% remotely. So let's just dive straight into it. So how has Airbnb actually changed my life? I started from nothing in 2020. So late 2019, early 2020, I was training full time for the Olympics, had zero money. It was just money in, money out. Yes, I was traveling the world, etc., but my time was very limited. I was very disciplined. I had no income as such. I had no time outside of sailing. It was a constant pressure, obviously training for the Olympics. So I wanted to look for an alternative. When I was 14 years old, my dad said that he regretted not being around more. He would always go to work before I woke up. He'd always get back after I'd already been to sleep. So he'd always get back after I'd been to sleep already. So I wouldn't see him that much. So I always thought that when I eventually have kids, I want to have that passive income. And Airbnb was that route for me. My dad was doing the accounts for someone who was in Airbnb management. And I managed to get some training off them, early doors, invested myself. So in 2022, we grew the business to 20 plus properties under management. We were doing over 100K a month. And then fast forward to now, we've got over 100 properties under management. We're doing over 500K per month in revenue. So you can see here, it's my net revenue figure. If we jump to my live dashboard, if I click last month, refresh it now, you can see 530,000 last month, 465 bookings, a total of 1.5K nights actually hosted. So before I get into how we actually built a 500K per month business, let me take you back to where it all started. So I found Airbnb management in 2019, had zero experience, no background. Honestly, I wasn't sure if it actually worked. I'd done all the research. I'd be looking at drop shipping, crypto, trading, etc. Looking at all these videos online. You've probably done the same kind of thing. Found Airbnb management. People around me didn't really get it. A few doubted it would even go anywhere. The same thing if you start your own business, people always doubt you. But I chose this model because it felt real. There was no products. It wasn't like hype. It was just a real service that you could actually offer. And I'd seen results through the guy that I spoke to. So I started it whilst full-time training for the Olympics. I would squeeze in the calls around the sailing and do outreach between gym sessions and sailing. First few deals, they were rough, but here I got my first client just through letting agent, simple as that. And then this is my first Airbnb here. As you can see, the photos were absolutely terrible at the start, but fast forward to the day, the property is here. The photos obviously a lot better and the property performed extremely well, averaging over £1,000 or $1,000 profit per month. So if we jump into actually how the business model works itself with zero upfront capital, it's really as simple as finding a landlord. So you're looking for a property owner who's either already on Airbnb or has got a rental. Then you need to pitch them the offer. So the offer you're pitching them is Airbnb management. You're just going to manage that property for them on Airbnb and take a percentage of the gross revenue to manage it for them. You list the property on Airbnb, Booking.com, Verbo, all these platforms to maximize visibility across them all. You then manage the listings, you manage the guest messages, the cleaners, and the maintenance, and then you just repeat the process to get more clients and start to scale. The most important part though is literally there is zero upfront cost. The only small cost is setting the business up, which is literally as little as like $50. Simple as that. In the UK, I think it's £60 to actually set up, or even as little as £20 to actually set up the business. £60 will be paying someone to do it. So no capital needed. Find a landlord, pitch the offer, list the property, manage the listing, and get more clients. So what does my Airbnb business actually look like right now? So my results, currently managing over 106 listings. We have about 15 in the pipeline. We've got 8 contracts signed this month. And then there's the pipelines absolutely full with some coming on next month and into the future as well. We sign people on exclusivity agreements, so I know what's coming on in the future. And this is what the calendar looks like. This was taken on August the 28th. Typical deal, if we run into it, is about $1,000 profit per month. You can see this property here is kind of what a typical deal looks like. So the gross revenue for the property is about 6.8K US, and your management fee equates to around 1,000 US. 106 properties I have, 1,000 US per property, 106,000 US profit per month. It's actually crazy when you see it like that because you just keep scaling, but at the end of the day, the profit's absolutely insane. And this is all starting from zero, fully remote, fully managed. And you can see the property itself. Literally, these are the figures from my channel manager, 6.8K US, 1K US management fee. So this is the money that you're taking in. As you can see, extrapolate that over the whole portfolio, and we're making some pretty juicy profit per month. So let's actually dive into what you're here for. Let's dive into the actual how it actually works. How do you find landlords? How do you pitch the offer? How do you deliver the service? And what tools do I actually use? So first off, finding landlords. You just got to work with your current network. People think it's really loads of these different methods to try and get landlords is. There is, but to be honest with you, the landlord that you need is probably one of your families, friends, or someone who knows. Everyone's heard of like the 7 degrees of freedom, which is basically you can talk to anyone in the whole world through 7 different people or connections. genuinely, you will find your first property so much closer to home than you think. I just ask my students, I tell everyone what you do, your family, your friends, and you'll be surprised at when that first property is. In terms of the other networking opportunities, you can go to networking events. So this is an example in the UK. If you just type in property networking events in Manchester, and all you need to do is position yourself as the exit strategy. So when you go to these events, you just want to ask people, talk to people. Ultimately, people buy from people. So if you go there, you talk to them, you say, like, what are you doing? What's the plans with the property? Do you have any properties on the go, any deals, etc.? And they will give you what deals they currently have. And you just position yourself as the exit strategy. So you ask them, what are you doing on the exit? Are you selling? Are you renting? Are you looking for are you looking for someone to manage it for you? And that is where you obviously then pitch the offer. Other ways to find landlords is referrals and affiliate marketing. So this is where, again, someone might refer a property to you through your current network and you offer them a small fee to do so, but you charge someone an onboarding fee. So you charge them an onboarding fee and then you pass on part of that onboarding fee to the referral. Affiliate marketing, same sort of thing, just paid over a long period of time. So if someone comes up to you with a property and they say this person's looking for Airbnb management, so they've referred it to you, you just give them a small percentage of the management fee, usually 10% of the management fee for the first year or the first 12 months, which means they can create like a small recurring revenue off you. And that creates your own little sales team. The last one as well is Facebook ads. Obviously, this requires a little bit of upfront capital, but to be honest with you, you don't need to start at the start, but it is a very good way to find landlords. And it's super easy once you get taught by the right people. In terms of pitching your offer, I'm just going to jump to another Miro here. You need to first off define what your offer actually is. So like if you have no clarity, you get no clients, just nail your offer and then you'll literally become the obvious choice. There's a few options for you. Full management, which is when you pitch full management to someone. This is full Airbnb management. This is a turnkey operation. And this is where you handle everything. So listings, pricing, guests, cleaners, reviews. The landlord has passive income and monthly reports. And you position it as that you stay the owner, so the landlord stays the owner and will run the business for you. You've got optional upsells with that, so like interior design services, staging, amenities, and also direct booking support. So this not only means you can take the property on, and it obviously doesn't cost you anything to take the money on, property on. You can actually get paid to take it on by offering an interior design service or a staging service as well. So next up, we've got co-hosting. This is where it's more of a hands-on owner, so like you become the expert partner. So you manage the online listings and the guest side, but the landlord handles the property, the maintenance, the setup. This is perfect for landlords that want to be more involved and just want support in terms of actually getting the proper bookings in. And this is where you kind of use the phrase that we'll do the digital part of it, but you'll keep control of the asset themselves. In terms of actually setting your pricing to convert, you need to use a hybrid model depending on the length of contract. So my management fee ranges from 14% plus VAT up to 22% plus VAT, depending on the length of contract. So if it's a longer contract, so a 12-month contract, then I charge 14% plus VAT. If it's a shorter term 6-month or monthly contract, then I do 22% plus VAT. And then what you want to do is include that setup fee of £250 to £750 for onboarding. And that just means you're getting paid to take the property on. So not only has this cost you nothing to start up, you're also getting paid to take the property on. And then you can also offer tiers as well. So co-hosting more 10%, full management 18%. Like I said, you can do a premium tier as well. What's something that's very important is boundaries though, peace of mind. So like define what is included and what is not included. Set your working hours and your emergency protocols with those landlords. You don't want landlords texting you at 10 p.m. A little bit of side source, but when you're actually pitching the offer to someone, speak to the pain points. So these landlords have no time to manage guests or cleaners. Listings aren't making enough money. They've got bad guests, poor reviews, etc. They've got stress from cleaners, and you just take all of that stress off their back. Position yourself as literally the hands-free and the income boosting service. Next up, we'll go through delivering the service itself. Like we've been through it a little bit, but what do you actually do? You handle the bookings, you manage the guest experience, you sort out all the guest messaging. You don't have to do the cleans and linen yourself and the changeovers, but you bring in cleaners to do that. You don't hire them in-house, but you find a cleaning company to do the cleans for it, and you just arrange the schedule of them. Same with the linen, same with the maintenance. You're not going to be out there fixing properties and doing maintenance. You're going to get a company to do it for you, and you're just arranging that company to do it. In terms of what tools I use, first off is a channel manager like Guesty. So here's an example screenshot of Guesty. I can't show you live Guesty because obviously there's a lot of Guesty information there. But Guesty is a channel manager. This is how you avoid double bookings. This is how you have a centralized inbox in its most simplest form. As you can see here, this is my Chester calendar. You've got bookings from Verbo, which is at one platform, Airbnb, another platform, Booking.com, another platform, direct bookings. So this means that if I get a booking on Booking.com, it then blocks out the calendar on Airbnb so no one can book it. If I get a booking on Airbnb, it blocks out the calendar on Booking.com so no one can book it. You can see as well, all the pricing is here, so we can see what price per night we're charging, and also minimum length of stay. So how long can actually someone book for? So a channel manager is absolutely essential if you're going to manage properties. This is kind of like your central hub, unified inbox, unified calendar. There's so much more in here as well. Automated messages, all the ratings, the owners' statements get generated here as well. So at the end of the month, when you send the money back to the owners, the statements get generated here as well. In terms of dynamic pricing, so this is how you can create fluctuations in price. You'll see it's not always consistent, 72, 78, 80, 80, 140, 357. I don't manage these prices. Software like Wheelhouse here, that is what manages the prices for me. So you just you create the settings, and then Wheelhouse will change the prices daily based on the demand. So you can see all the properties here, and you can see you can see over here the different prices, and you can see minimum length of stays and different prices. Yeah, Wheelhouse is super important. There's also price labs that you can use as well. The final one is Zapier, and this is to automate and connect all the different apps you use and put them all together. So Zapier, this is an example of one of the Zaps we use. It's just an automation tool. This is when a guest checks in. So when a guest fills out the online check-in form, our team get notified in Slack. A row is created in a spreadsheet as a CRM, and then they get sent an email saying thank you for completing it. And they also get sent a retargeting email for marketing, depending on whether they book for leisure or business. If they book for business, they're going to say, do you need accommodation next week? I see you're traveling for business. Are you looking for accommodation in the future? So they'll get a marketing email straight away. But they're kind of the best tool. They're kind of the main tools you use. Guesty, which is your channel manager, a dynamic pricing tool, Wheelhouse, and then an automation tool, which kind of ties all your different tools together. And I think one of the main things that really helped me make a lot of money from this business model was when I first started out, I had a mentor that guided me every step of the way. So I do have an offer. It's a done with you offer. There's 2 different offers. Start B&B. This is for beginners who want to get to 10K a month with Airbnb management. And then there's Scale B&B. So this is anyone who's already in Airbnb doing 15 to 30K a month, and they want to scale to 100K a month. So I break down the 2 real quick. Start B&B. You're going to get a full course access. You're going to get 6-month membership to Start B&B and mentorship. You're going to get all the templates, scripts, checklists you need. Get an AI assistant, 24/7 access to our own AI bot. You're going to get weekly coaching calls and one-to-one mental support. The program's 6 months, and if you don't get to 10K within 6 months, I'll work with you until you do. The Scale B&B offer, this is for people who are already at 15 to 30K a month and want to scale to 100K a month. So normally they've got 5 to 10 properties. I'll take to 30 plus. This is 6 months, 1 to 3 mentorships. You get access to myself and 2 other mentors. Done with you, done for you. We'll do all the back end build for you. We'll systemize the company for you. Full business audit and growth plan, lifetime access to the Scale B&B program, private network access, and then also we'll help you to build your own Airbnb info off the back of it. We work with you directly for 6 months. If you don't hit 100K within that 6 months, we will work with you until you do. So yeah, if you are interested, then please feel free to DM me on Instagram, Daniel.Budden, link is in the bio. In terms of like the student successes we've already had, it's actually crazy. If you go into like the community dashboard itself, you'll see this is where the community is. This is the community's win section. Helen, she literally just got a new property in the bot, direct to vendor landlord. This one property is making her 5.3K pounds per month profit just off one property. We can look at Adam and Callum. They've had another record month. Gross revenue 33,000, which means they're going to be making 10 to 15, about 10K a month off that one profit wise. In terms of Helen, again, she's got another property that we're going on. We can go up here as well. Ollie's done 3.5K in damage waivers. Julie, lying in bed, she's got 8 properties and she's done 64,000 gross revenue. So in terms of management fees there, if she's operating about 20%, she's doing about 12 to 15K a month profit. We've got Fabian here as well, who's got in 1 month, he's done 59,000 this month. Or total revenue this month is 115,000, which means it's about 20K profit. Going to Julie again, another booking's coming, £18,000 booking, which is absolutely insane. And then also we've got Elizabeth here as well. This is one of her first properties, drops in 15 nights, 1.5K, insane. These are just a few of the examples, but every single day people are posting wins in this chat. And you can also go on to, if you want to see as well, you can go on to testimonials. A testimonial gets dropped every single week, but I really encourage you to watch some of these stories and you can see uni dropout and ex-apprentice. This is Freddie and Tom, went to 90K per month. Fabian has scaled it to 15K per month profit. We've got James who's gone to 40K per month. How we took Luca from HS2 contracts to 100K per month. Also, Rory broke free from the 9 to 5 up to 43, and it's just in 18 months, which is about 43K a month profit. So let's jump into like my regrets from when I started out, the mistakes I made so you don't make the mistakes. Professional photos. Oh my gosh, when you get your first listing, I did not invest in professional photos early on, and the poor gym images, you'll see them over there. I literally went live with these images. I mean, who is going to book this property? I wouldn't even book this property. If you're not going to book your own property, you don't think it looks good, then it's probably not good. So poor images means fewer clicks, lower occupancy, and less trust from guests. It easily cost me thousands of pounds in missed bookings in those first couple of months, which meant that these landlords, they didn't believe I was reputable, which then obviously harmed the business. So I had to then resell again. Professional photos is an absolute must when you start. Thinking too small, I limited myself just a few units at the start instead of building a bigger pipeline. And I wasted months and years, or even years, operating like a side hustle instead of treating it like an actual business. As soon as you treat this like a business and not just a side hustle, honestly, you can scale it so much faster. So think big. Like, what do you actually want your life to look like? What do you want to get to? And start with the end goal in mind. What does that business look like? And then just build to that straight away. As soon as I started acting like that, scaling to 100 plus properties became so much easier. Outsourcing too slow was another regret. I outsourced pretty fast, but even still, it was too slow. At the start, you try and do everything yourself, guest messages, cleaning, pricing, etc. Like I say, you need to use the tools, and the tools that I spoke about before, use them to automate guest messages, outsource to other cleaning teams, do your pricing dynamically on different softwares like Wheelhouse or Price Labs. And then, the business only started to grow onto outsource and built out proper teams and systems. In terms of how to scale from the more experienced people, so the scale B&B, this is how I genuinely got from like where I was doing 100K a month to now at 500K a month. First off, systemize. You need to get yourself out of the day-to-day as fast as possible. Systemize guest communications, the cleaning, and the check-ins, so you can focus on growth and you're not firefighting every single day. If this business feels like a job, then you've built it wrong. If you're firefighting every single day and you're adding no real value to the business, then you're not doing it right. Every single day you should be pushing the business forward. So that should be onboarding new clients, should be systemizing, creating efficiencies in the business so you have better guest experience or faster guest communications, or you're making more money. If you're focusing on tasks that don't make you any money, then you're not systemized. That leads on pretty nicely to the second part of how to scale. You need to outsource and hire early. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed. Bring in the virtual VAs, virtual assistants, and team members sooner. And that means the right hires can free your time up and then unlock faster scaling. VAs, if you don't know, these are virtual assistants. This is who sorts the guest messaging out. This is also who manages all the day-to-day operations. If you don't hire early on outsource and you're like, oh, well, I know I can just do it myself, you're not talking this like a business. You're not thinking of this like a business, and you won't scale. Outsource and hire early and your life will become a lot easier and you'll scale much faster. Lastly, you need to build a proper sales funnel. Don't rely on luck. Like, if you rely on luck, you just won't scale your portfolio. You need a predictable lead funnel for landlords and agents so that new units flowing consistently month after month. This means Facebook ads. This means good website SEO. This means good outreach protocol as well. You need to have these things in place. Otherwise, you're not going to scale. You need to, again, treat it like an actual business so that you then scale easily. Honestly, if you build this business correctly and you scale properly, you can get to where I got to much faster than I did, especially if you're getting taught by myself or someone who actually knows what they're talking about. That's it for today. If you did find it useful, then please drop a sub and I will see you in the next one.